Today I witnessed the most insane illusions in the world at the Museum of Illusions. See if you can guess how they work.
Right now, I appear way smaller than my brother. Let's switch. You look tiny.
And then in this next illusion, it looks like I'm hanging from this building. And then we went on this bridge that made it seem like we were literally spinning over and over. And then there was this giant crazy cube thing that when you looked into it, it looked like it went on forever. And this object that literally turned shape and color. And this last illusion was my favorite.
Enjoying my lunch?
They had this zero gravity restaurant that I could literally float in like this. It was nuts. And overall, the Museum of Illusions in St. Louis was a blast. Get your tickets in my bio. Today I'm moving my 1,200-pound rubber band ball to my warehouse. And if you don't know the story, I started this ball back in 2020 after using rubber bands to explode a watermelon. And after a few years, it grew into this massive ball, and it's just been sitting here in my garage for a while. So now it's time to move it to a bigger space so we can work on it again. And we had to bring out the big machinery to move it out of the garage like this. And we were able to pick up the ball and move it out of the garage, which looked insane. Then the FedEx guy saw it and recognized it, so he needed a picture by it. Then we continued on, moving the ball on down the road, and we moved it all the way through my neighborhood and up onto this trailer, which looked absolutely ridiculous. And I just watched in awe as we were able to get it on the trailer and stabilize it. Then we loaded it up and took it to the warehouse, where we then unloaded it off the trailer and drove it directly into the warehouse, and then to the spot where we would begin working on it again. We unhooked it and rolled it off into the spot, and thankfully it didn't run into the wall, and we perfectly succeeded in moving it. So comment down below what you guys want me to do with the rubber band ball.
Yeah! This thing's freaking huge.
So in my last video, I filled this inflatable pool completely up with salt and water because I wanted to test how much salt you needed to float in water. But now I'm attempting again in a deeper pool so I can see myself float better.
First test, no salt. I don't float whatsoever.
We then poured 1 bag of salt for the first test.
This is me trying to float with 1 bag of salt. I float slightly better, but I'm still sinking. 2 more bags of salt.
I then poured 2 more bags in, mixed it up to try in 3 bags of salt.
So I'm floating slightly. I feel like it's not perfect, so we need more salt. 3 more bags of salt.
And then I poured 3 more 40-pound bags in, totaling to 6 bags of salt.
6 bags of salt. Let's see how easy I float. So I'm pretty much floating, but I feel like I'm still bobbing up and down. Pouring in the rest of the salt.
And after pouring in all the salt, I got in the water and immediately rose to the top.
Oh, perfectly floating without even trying.
And so yeah, you can perfectly see me legitimately floating from every single angle with ease.
So this is what happens if I try to sink myself and then I just let my body resurface. Slowly, I just come back up.
For the past 2 years, I've been buying these giant 400-pound pumpkins and doing these crazy elephant toothpaste experiments with them. This year, I got another one, but this time I'm attempting to turn it into a working boat, just like in these viral videos I've seen. The first step was loading the pumpkin and hauling it off to a nearby creek where we could launch it. And to turn it into a working boat, the first step was rolling it over on its side so we could cut a giant hole in the bottom of the pumpkin. I used a little saw to create the outline, and then I took this bigger saw and went all the way through it until the entire bottom fell out just like this. I then tested if it was big enough for me to fit in, and it wasn't yet, so we had to cut out a little bit more and then flip it back over and test it again. And I did. It was perfect.
We got a boat now.
And with the giant pumpkin boat ready, it was time to take it out on the water. My goal was to float perfectly across the creek. I rolled it into the water, almost fell, and then got in the pumpkin.
Oh, it's supporting me.
And at first it was stuck on the ramp, so I had to push it off into deeper water.
Oh my gosh! It's taking on water.
And once I was in it, it immediately took on water, so I splashed it all out with my paddle like this and moved it out to deeper water to try again.
No! Ew, my pumpkin!
And again, I went down.
Pumpkin!
So a while back, I made this trampoline out of rubber bands. But the frame didn't hold up, so we made an even bigger trampoline with bigger rubber bands, and I could actually bounce on it like this. And that frame also ended up breaking as well, so when this other company sent me this massive trampoline with a way stronger frame, I thought it would be a perfect chance to redo my trampoline. The plan was to create a new rubber band trampoline that was even bigger and stronger than before. We started off putting the band sideways and long ways, a bunch like this, and a few in between, and then we tested it, and it wasn't ready. So we then added a bunch more rubber bands and gave it another test, and it had a little bit of bounce, but it still needed way more bands, and it ended up taking way more bands than we ever thought it would. But on day 2, the trampoline looked like this, and it was much more easy to bounce on, but I couldn't really stand up on it.
What? Well, it kind of worked.
I then tried bouncing on it in a bunch of different ways, like laying down like this, which kind of worked. I got some air. Then on my knees like this, and my dog went under the trampoline. Then we tried on my face like this, in which I got some more air, but nothing worked that well, so let me know what else we should try. So in my last video, I took all this scrap copper and attempted to turn it into my very own copper bar to sell at the pawn shop. And we successfully heated the copper up enough to melt it into a liquid form that we could then pick up and slowly pour into this mold, and just like that, we had a shiny copper bar. And now now it was just time to see how much it would sell for at the pawn shop.
What's up, Dylan?
Hey, I got a different kind of metal for you here today.
What do you got?
This one's not quite as valuable by the weight, but I got a lot of it. Copper.
Oh yeah, they don't sell this by the gram, they sell this by the pound. You been breaking in houses, stealing the copper out of it?
Oh, no, I got it all legit.
So how much weight you got here?
This one by itself is probably worth like 20 bucks.
We weighed the individual piece first, and he said it was worth.
Grams, right at 3 ounces, you got about $6 worth of copper.
What about out of all this?
So we weighed all the copper together and said in total it would be worth about.
23. I would sell that whole bucket there for 20 bucks.
So what would you buy it for then?
I'd probably give you 10 bucks for it.
You know how much I paid for this?
Oh, did you steal it out of the house? And what'd you get for it?
10 bucks. You know what? I'll sell it.
There you go, sir.
Bet. Got my money back.
So I've been making these Prince Rupert glass drops that are indestructible unless the tail is snapped. But I failed because all of mine don't break when I snap the tail, and I've tried everything from ice to blue liquid, and every time my drop just looks like this. But you guys commented and said to try with a bigger jar, so I got this one that's a little bit bigger, and we're gonna try it again. I focused the heat on the bottom of the drop, and pretty quickly it was starting to melt until eventually it was dripping into the jar. It landed right here, so I stuck my hand down in it and pulled it out, and it was so beautiful. The drop looked very genuine and felt like a real one, so I put it on the tail and did this, but it ended up the same. So I have an ongoing series where I try to make a genuine Prince Rupert's drop that's indestructible but shatters when you snap the tail. And you guys told me that I've been using the wrong kind of glass this whole time, so today I ordered this special flint glass off Amazon to try again. And this type of glass melted way faster than the other type, but for some reason it shattered as soon as it hit the water. It shattered. So I tried again melting another drop, but it also shattered. And then we moved on and made another drop, and it ended up being a super tiny drop, but it didn't shatter, and it looked pretty good. I then tested this other trick where apparently you can take a polarized sheet and you're supposed to be able to see lots of colors, but the drop wasn't genuine, so I moved on and made another drop, and this one didn't shatter either. And I pulled it out and it looked amazing. It looked like it could actually be a genuine Rupert's drop. It looked super shiny and rounded, but it also had these little bubbles inside. But I decided to test it anyway. I first tested its strength by hitting it with a hammer 2 times, and it just stuck to the hammer. So I then had to snap the tail to see if it was genuine, and it did not shatter, making it a fake drop. Let me know what else to try. I have this 10-gram piece of gold that the pawn shop guy said was worth
$725.
And in my last video, I went back in to see what it was worth a year later.
Oh my.
1,046 now. I would give you $941 for it.
And I didn't sell it, but you guys told me I should go back in and trade it for silver because that's a better investment. So that's what I'm doing.
What's up, Dylan?
Remember my piece of gold I brought in the other day?
Yep.
I was thinking about trying to trade it in for maybe some silver. Don't you think silver might be a better investment these days than gold?
I think so.
I wanted to see how much silver I could get for the piece of gold.
So to know exactly what it was worth, he weighed it and then put it in this x-ray machine that told us it was exactly 18 karat, which when you do the math is equivalent to about 19 ounces of silver, which looks like this.
Be about that much silver.
So this tiny piece of gold is worth this much silver.
Yep.
And it looked like a fair trade. I got a lot of silver, so I said let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make a deal.
Trade? Alrighty.
I'll take the silver. You can have my piece of gold.
Alright. You got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in that gold.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.
Comment what else I should try. So about a year ago, I had a jeweler melt all these little gold nuggets into this one piece of gold. And the pawn shop guy told me it was worth
$725.
No way.
I'd give you $700 for it.
And instead of selling it, I decided to keep the piece of gold as an investment. But since it's been a year now, I wanted to see if my gold had gone up in value. So I'm taking it back to the pawn shop to have it reappraised.
Hey, so remember a long time ago when I'd melted all those gold nuggets into like this one little piece? It was worth what, like 700, 750 at the time?
I don't remember.
Well, I just wanted to see if it'd gone up in value. I think I heard something about gold's gone up a lot, so I just wanted to see how much it was worth now.
Let's check it.
So he reweighed it.
10.6 grams. That's gone up quite a bit.
Oh my.
1,046 now.
That's like worth like $1,000?
Yep. I would give you $941 for it, which is 90%.
Oh my gosh.
You can actually make money on it now.
So it's gone up $300 in value basically in a year. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep holding on to it.
Might as well. Let's start tanking. If it tanks, you can just
Wait,
get rid of
it
it.
can go down? Well, I might just hold on to it.
That's
but
fine.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
This right here is 24 karat gold flakes, and today I'm going to be melting it to see if it's actually real gold. And I also have this other type of gold flake that I'm going to be melting as well. It came in these like paper sheets. So starting with the gold sheets, I added them all to this melting crucible. Then I got out this MAP gas torch and just blasted them, but the leaves just flew everywhere like this. It literally just took a small amount of air to blow the leaves. And I tried again, but just charred the leaves completely black. So I then added a bunch more leaves to try again. And when I put the torch back on it, they all just blew away and turned black again.
hand, and I kept trying to burn them, but they just kept blowing away.
Bruh.
So I moved on to the gold leaves in this container. I poured them all in the crucible, and it turned out to be wet, and it was like alcohol smelling, and it kind of caught on fire like this, because I guess it was alcohol in there. So I took it outside to be safe. I'm gonna try to burn it outside. So I set it down on the concrete like so, and then caught them on fire again, but they all just blew away like this and left no residue of any gold, kind of proving that all the gold leaves were indeed fake and not real gold. That stuff's fake. So let me know what else you want me to test or try.
The other day I bought this gram of gold for
$110.
and then I turned around and took it to a pawn shop to see how much money I'd
Give
lose.
you $93.35 for it. It's actually what it's worth in scrap.
And I lost $17. Now you guys want me to buy it back and sell it back to the original dealer.
Remember that gold I sold you the other day? I was actually wanting to buy it back because I regretted selling it.
You know, gold's gone down a little bit since you sold that, right?
Oh really? What's it worth now?
A gram of gold right now, $92.66. We work on a very small profit margin on gold and silver.
How much would you sell it for today then?
Out of a gram, I normally get $100. So if you want it for $100, you can have it.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
So I bought it back.
Thanks for my gold back.
And now it was time to see what the original gold shop would pay for
I'm
it.
back with the little piece of gold you sold me.
Okay.
I wanted to see what it was worth today.
Yep, that's my holder.
So I'd actually sold it to a pawn shop and then I regretted it and bought it back. Now I'm thinking I want to sell it again.
So let's look see what spot is. 29.12. That comes up to $93.64.
93 bucks. That's pretty good.
Wanna
Huh.
do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
20, 40, 60.
So I sold the gold at scrap and lost $7 more. So I just got another 100K plaque for my Spanish channel and I want to see how much I can sell it for at the pawn shop. But apparently the new plaques are smaller now, so I had to see for myself and compare it to my old 100K plaque, and they are indeed a lot smaller. So even more reason to pawn
What's up,
it.
Dylan?
I got something you probably never seen come through here.
What's that?
This is a 100K YouTube plaque.
100K YouTube plaque. How'd you get that?
One of my channels hit 100,000 subscribers and I just thought I'd see how much I could sell one of these bad boys for.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's a Spanish channel.
Dylan in Espanol. How much cuánto dinero?
What do you want for it?
And it's pretty hard to get one of those. Gotta be worth at least like 300 bucks.
You think so?
Then he checked eBay to see what they went for.
That one sold for $87.
Someone sold that for $80? I'd need at least 300.
Yeah, I'd probably give you 50. If I sold it on eBay, they took 15%. I'm only gonna get 65 bucks. You might be better off just keeping it for yourself.
Yeah, I guess I can hang it up. I thought it was kind of rude that they're smaller now, so I was just like, I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah, you're probably better off keeping it. See you later.
So after many failed attempts to make a genuine
Wow.
Prince Rupert's drop that shatters when you break the tail, today I finally did it. It all started in my last video when I tried this new type of glass you guys told me to use, which did make a drop that survived my hammer, but it wasn't a truly genuine drop. Which brings us to now where I'm attempting to melt a drop in WD-40 at your guys' request. So using the new glass, I melted a drop into the WD-40 and it started boiling and smoking like this. But little did I know, I may have actually made my first genuine Rupert's drop. I then attempted to pull it out, but it was too slippery, so I then dumped it out to find the drop, and it was stuck at the bottom, so we had to pry it out like this. I got the drop unstuck and managed to keep it intact. And the drop was pretty dirty looking, but it was time to see if it was genuine. So I went straight to the test where we snipped the tail.
When I snap the tail, it should shatter.
So I snapped the tail and it happened. It actually shattered. There was glass all over the container and I'd done it.
It was genuine.
So WD-40 really can do anything.
I finally did it. So I bought this gram of gold for $110. And now I'm taking it to SneakerCon to see what kind of shoes I can trade the gold for. So I just went to the first booth and asked, hey, I got this piece of gold. I wanted to see what kind of sneakers I could get for a gram of gold. It's worth probably like 110, 120.
You want to trade this for a pair of sneakers? I might have bought something. Some Janowski's.
What are these worth?
Probably about like 100.
I think I'd be willing to trade for this. So I successfully bought these sneakers for gold, and now I'm going to the next booth to see how much they'll buy them for. I traded a piece of gold for these sneakers, so I wanted to see how much you would buy them for.
A piece of gold?
Yeah, it's like a gram of gold. It was worth like 120, and they gave me these sneakers for the gold.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, bro. You got massively scammed.
What do you think those are worth?
40 bucks at your local Urban Outfitter?
Would you buy them? And he told me he'd be willing to do a coin flip where if I win, he'll buy them for 40, and if he wins, he buys them for free.
Getting a lot worse or not too bad for you?
Let's go heads.
You're going heads? That's heads.
Let's go.
Here you go.
It's
Here's
okay.
$40.
Thank you. So I won and still lost money. So a while back, I bought this $400 dirt bag from the
Hopefully you
pawn
make
shop.
some
And
money.
it ended up having all these silver coins and even this diamond. That altogether was worth $469. So today I'm going back into the pawn shop to see if he has anything else for me to buy. I'm kind of just looking for something unique to buy.
We got some silver in, Star Wars silver bars in. How about a money tree? This is a little money tree. This is not just your average money tree. This has actually got gold pay dirt in the soil.
So this is a money tree with gold in the soil?
Yep. You know those bags you buy with the gold in it? I actually bought a bag of that, took the old dirt out, and put that money tree dirt in there. Possibly a bunch of money in gold in the bottom of this.
Really?
Yep. You might find thousands of dollars.
How much do you want for it?
I'd probably take $60.
Would you do 40?
You want to flip on it? You win, you get it for 40. If
Okay.
I win, I get 60. Do you want to call it?
Heads.
Heads it is.
Oh, okay. All right, bet.
And if you find thousands of dollars in here, you're going to come back and give me my extra 20 bucks, right?
Yeah. All right, here's 40.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Hope you get rich.
Got a money tree. So I've been trying to make a genuine perfect Prince Rupert drop. And in my last video, I attempted using a way bigger jar to see if that would work, but it wasn't enough and the drop still didn't shatter when I snapped the tail. So this time I found this all new type of glass on Amazon that's for glass blowers. So I'm hoping it will melt better and allow me to create the perfect Prince Rupert drop. I also was sure to focus the heat on the bottom of the drop like you guys said. It fell into the water like this and it looked pretty perfect. You could see some bubbles inside of it. I grabbed it by the tail and then clipped it and it didn't shatter. So I clipped the tail one more time and it still just looked like this. So yeah, that's a lot of failed Rupert drops, but I had one more idea. A tall jar combined with this glass might be the right combination of things I needed to create a genuine Rupert drop. The drop got red hot and then melted into the jar like this and just kind of floated in the center. I then dumped it out and the drop looked perfect. I was pretty sure this one was going to be the first genuine one I had made. And like you guys told me, I clamped it on the very end of the tail like this and snapped it, but the whole drop did not shatter. So let me know if I should try something else. Today I'm taking 2 fake items and 1 real item to the pawn shop to see if they can tell which one's which. I have these fake sneakers I got for $50 but actually sell for $500, and I also have this dummy fake iPhone and this real $180 silver coin. 2 of these items are not genuine and 1 of them is. Here's the first item. We have this phone. See this new iPhone?
That is 100% fake. For one, it doesn't have the Apple logo on the back of it.
So you don't think this was real?
It's not real.
I've also got shoes here. Have you seen a lot of shoes like these?
We don't deal with a lot of shoes because there's a lot of fakes out there.
He looked them over and then asked what I paid.
Pay about $500 for them?
He found this listing and said they looked pretty real.
I'd say these are probably good. I think that's real. I think this is fake. I'm still up in the air on this.
And now the real item. And then I have this genuine $180 piece of silver. He first just weighed it and then got out this fancy machine and started testing it and said it was real.
I'd say it's good. So these are no good.
You think the silver is real, so you're saying the shoes are fake?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like the easiest thing to fool a pawn shop would be selling fake shoes.
That's why a lot of pawn shops don't deal with shoes. There's so many good fakes out there.
So the other day I went into the pawn shop and bought these real police handcuffs. I wanted to see if you had anything interesting that I could buy.
I did buy a cool pair of handcuffs from a cop. They're the real deal.
These are like real police handcuffs?
I'll try them on. They're pretty cool. Crap, I don't have a key for those yet. I do have a paperclip though.
Then I asked him how much.
I'll let you have them for 25 bucks.
So I gave him $25 and now it was time to figure out how to get out. Starting with the first strategy. Now I'm gonna try to get out. The pawn shop guy gave me this paper clip. We're gonna see if this method works. So starting with the paper clip, I just stuck it in the handcuffs. All right, here's the keyhole. I wiggled it around in the keyhole for a while and made no progress. So I moved on to the next method, banging it against this ladder. And when that didn't work, I just hooked the handcuffs onto this ladder and watched this video where this cop shows that all you have to do is pour water on your hand and you can get free. Give me the water. So I did exactly that. I poured the water directly on my hand. Oh, it's kind of working. And it actually started to work. Oh, that hurts. Squeezes my bone. And after a little bit of time and pain, I was free. Oh, yo, I got out. I'd gotten out of the handcuffs and my hand was pretty red. Last year, I did this trend where when it's cold enough, you can freeze ramen noodles. And now this year, it's gonna get down to -11, so I wanted to try the same trend out with spaghetti. Apparently, if it sticks, it's done. Say it's done. I then drained the noodles and added the sauce, and it looked like great spaghetti to me. Grandma's recipe. And here was my bowl. This is a model of what I'm gonna do outside, and hopefully we can make the spaghetti freeze like this. Thick. I'm gonna come back in the morning and hopefully the spaghetti's frozen. So I left it to freeze overnight and I came back and it looked like this. Let's see if it's frozen. It's currently still 2 degrees, so. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Levitating spaghetti fork. And I gave it the upside down test and proved that it was perfectly frozen.
Yeah, that worked. The spaghetti is levitating.
Levitating spaghetti. Today I'm buying gold from one pawn shop and selling it to a different pawn shop to see how much money I lose. Starting with the first one, I asked for their tiniest piece of gold.
How much for your smallest piece of gold?
We have 1 grams today at $110.
Is that little piece right here?
Yes, those 2 in the corner, and we have more in the back if you want more than 2. Just the one?
I looked at it and told them I'd take it.
I'll do it. 20, 20,
All right.
110.
What would you like to receive?
And we had our gold.
Thank you. Got the gold.
Now it was time to see how much the second pawn shop would pay.
I've got a really tiny gold bar I want to see how much is worth.
Tiny? It's not that tiny. I've seen smaller. That's only a gram? Wow. What do you want to do with that?
I told them I wanted to sell it.
Yeah, I'd like to
See
sell
what
it.
it's worth?
See how much you'd pay for it.
I'll give you $93.35 for it. It's actually what it's worth in scrap.
And that was the true value, so I said we had a deal.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
You want to sell it?
Yep, 93 bucks.
Alrighty. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, $3. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
So I lost $17. Let me know what else to do.
In my hands is supposedly one of the world's strongest tapes used to repair real airplanes. So I'm gonna put it to the test, starting with duct tape and working all the way up. The first test is this 20-pound dumbbell. Starting with this duct tape. Let's see if it holds. Oh. It does not hold. Gorilla tape, let's see it. It's holding. And the Gorilla tape successfully held the dumbbell. Gorilla tape worked. So we had to get a bigger weight. Time to go up. Now wrap the tape around and see if it holds. And the Gorilla tape could not lift the anvil. Gorilla tape failed. Now flex tape fixes any leaks. So I secured the flex tape on the anvil and it was time to test. Let's see if it holds. And it seemed like it was gonna hold, but it eventually gave out. It did not hold. And now this super expensive airplane tape. This was by far the most expensive tape and the heaviest tape. Let's see if it'll hold an anvil. Tape literally feels like foil. I did the best I could, and let's see. How does this protect an airplane?
Today I wanted to see if I could find more gold in a $40 bag of dirt or $40 worth of these gold bricks. Starting with the gold bricks, I unwrapped them all and then started putting them in this hydraulic press thing. And the first one had rock, and the second one also had a rock, but defying the 1 in 24 odds, in the third one we found gold.
Gold already.
With only a 1 in 24 chance, we'd found gold in the third one. The nugget was very tiny and weighed literally nothing on the scale, so we would need to find a lot more to start adding up the value. But after searching through the rest of the gold bricks, all we found was more rock. So now it was time to search through the $40 worth of dirt and see if we could find more gold. I sifted it out, and immediately we found a gold nugget that was bigger than the gold we found in the bricks. Then we found this other decent sized nugget, kept on searching and found a really tiny nugget, and this other really tiny nugget, and it was all starting to add up to way more gold in the dirt bag. We found a few more little tiny pieces, put it in this container, and then we weighed it, and it came out to 3.8 grams, about $13 of gold, while the other gold was basically worthless, and at most was worth maybe like $2. So a while back, I bought these money candles and found $2, and then I bought this money soap and found $5, and now you guys told me to buy these mystery bath bombs that have rings inside that could be worth upwards of $100, so I bought 4 of them for $50, and this was the first ring we found. It looked like silver and diamond, but I really didn't know, so I just opened up the other one. It was this blue ring, and then I opened up the other one, it was a green ring, and the last ring looked like this. It was diamond colored and blue colored, and now it was time to find out if they were worth anything.
I bought these mystery bath bombs that had like mystery rings inside. I spent about 50 bucks on 4 of these bath bombs, and I got all these rings here. I just want you to tell me what they're worth so I can see how much money I made.
How much you made? What are they supposed to be?
Some of them are worth like $20, $100.
Yeah, it's not even real gold or silver.
Diamond?
Diamonds are no good either.
Are they worthless?
Pretty much.
Then he tested it.
It's fake, yeah. See that copper underneath there?
And he acid tested
Gold
it.
still on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we put it on this one, see how it's completely gone? So yeah, they're completely junk. They're not worth a thing.
Like not even $1?
Nope. Have a good day.
So I tested if this purple grid could protect my giant ostrich egg by putting it in this box with the grid and then throwing it from multiple different heights. And unfortunately, the ostrich egg did not survive. But you guys told me I needed to do it again, but do a proper weight test like in the original purple ad. So I've got several different weights here, and I'm going to be placing each one on top of the ostrich egg using this door and see how the ostrich egg holds up. Starting with the 5-pound dumbbell that we just sat on the door and then slowly placed on the ostrich egg. We let all the weight rest on it, and it did nothing, as expected. So we moved on to the 20-pound dumbbell. Swapping out the 5 pounds for 20 pounds. All right, dropping on the ostrich egg. Let go. And with all 20 pounds on the ostrich egg, it also did nothing. The ostrich egg is okay. Now this 66-pound anvil. I have a feeling this anvil might crush the ostrich egg. So let's find out. 2, 1, slowly. Let off pressure. All the weight is on the ostrich egg. And the anvil also did absolutely nothing to the ostrich egg, so we had to step it up. Now I'm gonna try to do my body weight. Put the egg on here. We set the door back on the egg, and then I slowly tried to balance on it. And once I found my balance on the door, I slowly put all my weight onto the egg. I'm leaning all my weight on the egg, and this happened. Oh! It did not support. The egg did not hold up. So I bought this $500 gold and silver mystery box to open all the items up and then take them to the pawn shop to see if they're all worth what I paid. The first item I opened was this 1 ounce silver bar that's worth about $36. Then I opened up this 1 ounce silver bullet and this gold package with this tiny half-gram piece of gold that ChatGPT told me was worth about $53. Then I opened up the biggest one yet, this 5 ounce silver coin. Then just another silver coin with a dragon on it like this silver coin in this case, and another silver coin in this package. And that was everything that I then took to the pawn shop to have value.
What's up, Dylan?
I got this mystery box here. It's got like a lot of silver and gold and stuff. I wanted to see how much you thought it was all worth.
You pay a lot for it?
You know, a fair amount. So he took everything out one by one, weighed some stuff while I patiently waited and told me it was all worth
$450 worth there. What'd you get for it?
I paid $500. I mean, would you pay $500?
I probably wouldn't.
What's the most valuable thing in there?
Well, this is the most valuable. This has got about $53 in gold in it. This one in a proof 69 is probably about 45 to 50 bucks. Silver bars, we've been selling them for 40 an ounce. This would probably bring 45 an ounce. About 40 bucks. There's probably 500 worth at retail. I'd give you 440 for it. Silver's pulled back 30 bucks, so you can make it back right there if silver just goes back up to almost 40.
Oh, so if silver goes back up, I'm gonna make money.
You're probably gonna break even.
Thank you. I probably won't sell it then.
Have a good day.
You too. So a while back, I successfully fooled the pawn shop guy with my fake Jordan sneakers.
I'd say these are probably good.
But now I'm taking them to SneakerCon to see if an actual sneaker authenticator can tell if they're real or not. These are Jordan 4s, and I tried to sell them at my local pawn shop, and he told me he couldn't tell if they were real or not. I wanted you to have them authenticated.
I kind of don't even want to touch it. You got these where?
I got them online.
Oh my, yeah, no, bro. No.
What's wrong?
That bubble is way too soft. Oh no, these are terrible. Oh my God. No. No.
They're not real?
No, definitely not real.
How do you know?
So the box is wrong. The color of the cement this looks like cow print. The Jordan Jumpman is way too red. The insole is the wrong color. There's no glue on this. It's stiff. Right on this is wrong.
I paid $60 for these.
You need to go get the $60 back. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I appreciate it. So yeah, they could definitely tell. So in my last video, I bought this $200 box of lost packages, and only a few things inside ended up looking very valuable. So today I'm taking those items to the pawn shop to see what they're worth, including this unique mug and these diamond rings to find out if they're actually real. What's up?
What do you got today?
I got a bunch of good stuff. So this is a workout device. It works your legs out. I don't know how it turns on and stuff. Yeah, it's got some good tension.
I think you're supposed to use it on your thighs.
So he looked it up and said it was worth 11 bucks.
$7.99.
Oh, so you wouldn't buy it?
I'd give you $3 for it.
Yeah, I'll pass for now. The next thing is we have this dress hoodie. You see, it's like a hoodie and a dress combined. It's very innovative, ahead of its time right now.
Because that sure looks like Chewbacca on Star Wars.
No, it's a hoodie. It's a dress hoodie.
That's what they call it?
That's what I call it.
Yeah, they're 25 bucks on here.
And he said he'd do $5.
I'll
do $5.
Here you go, sir.
And next was this mug. Fancy mug.
Oh, wow. I don't even think it holds water.
Then he poured water in it and it just leaked straight out.
Maybe it's just for decoration.
Okay, well this is the real value. I got these diamond rings here. He examined the ring and said
They're
this.
Mark Sterling, but the diamonds aren't in.
So he then tested the silver and it was also fake.
Yep, they're not even silver. You got screws in the drive-thru.
All my stuff's like worthless.
Except for your Snuggie over there. Have a good day.
So today I bought a $200 mystery box filled with people's lost packages with the goal of finding a ton of valuable stuff. The first package had this coat in it that I didn't really like. And then the next package has this Thigh Master exercise thing. Then this really colorful package had this cup in it. Then this pink package had these pantyhose in it. Then I just started opening a bunch of junk and clothes I would never wear. Found some baby bibs in this purse that had the price tag on it. This is 29 bucks. Then I found this. What I thought was like a sleeping bag was actually a dress hoodie. I don't know why someone would want this. Then I opened this package that looked pretty interesting, and it actually was this really cool looking mug. Then I got a bunch more clothes that were just weird looking and I would never wear. Kind of looked like cartoon clothing. Then I opened up this custom stamper thing that made these like custom stickers. And then a bunch more weird clothes that I guess never made it to people's houses. Then in this box, I got all this workout stuff, this squat cushion thing. And then I was down to my last few packages and found this, what looked like diamond rings. And then in the last few boxes, I found these pants, these wind chimes, and the last package was just some overnight cream thing. So this is everything I found. Let me know what I should try to sell at the pawn shop.
So after filling my giant human hamster ball up with 200 bath bombs in my last video, I had another idea with it. Filling it up with helium. So I attached the helium tank to this plastic tube and then deflated the hamster ball about halfway and then began pushing down on this nozzle and filling the hamster ball the rest of the way up with helium. I then attached this rope and took it outside to see how high we could get it, and kicking it didn't make it go so far, so I started spinning it around like this and tried to throw it, and then try that again one more time. And then I just jumped on it like this and fell, and then tried to throw it up on this roof, but it didn't go, and I couldn't really get it that high, so I just hit it with my car like this and hit it again. Comment anything else I should try. This is black crude oil harvested directly from the oil field, and this is the blackest paint in the world that I used to paint this apple, and today I'm going to be painting with both of them on these canvases and these snowmen to see which one paints darker. Starting with the black paint on this canvas, I spread it all over and went over it a few times and it looked like this. Then I put my brush in the oil and began painting the other canvas, and they were both really dark, but I noticed the oil had a slight brown tint to it. Here's both of them after I painted it, and now it's just time to let them dry. Then I got out Snowman 1 and Snowman 2 and painted this one with the darkest black paint, and then got the oil out, started pouring it all over the snowman's head, and covered him in the oil. And everything was finished and looked like this. And then we let it dry for 24 hours and came back and it looked like this. Wow, here's the black snowman, and here's the oily snowman. And here's the paintings. This is the oil one, and this is the darkest paint in the world. It's super brown here, and it's still wet, super dark oily right here. And both paintings turned out pretty different.
So in my last video, I tried to melt these gold leaves that I bought on Amazon to see if they were actually real gold or not. But they just charred and turned completely black, so I made another video where I melted the crucible from the bottom like this, like you guys suggested, and it left me with this little bead that I then took to the pawn shop, and he tested it and said it was fake.
Nope, that's not good.
So I spent even more money on these gold flakes that claim to be 100% genuine. I opened them up, and they do look way more real compared to the old gold flakes. Here they are side by side. So to find out if these ones were real, I first put them in the crucible like the old ones and put the flame on them like this, and it kind of just shrunk it down. So then we just took it to the pawn shop to see if they are real.
Got some gold leaves here that I want you to test to see if they're actually genuine. It says on the bottle 23.5 carat genuine gold flake, 200 milligrams.
200 milligrams? Oh, squishy.
Oh yeah, it'll get all over your. I think they were like $70.
For 200 milligrams?
So we pulled it out and dropped 22 karat acid on
It's
it.
not testing like it's real.
And it completely ate my gold leaf, so we tried an 18 karat acid instead. And it actually held up, but he still said this.
So do you think it's real at all?
I don't think it's real at all. And even if it's not,
And he said even if it's real, it's only worth $19.
I would not buy any more of their gold.
So I recently bought this $400 mystery dirt bag from the pawn shop
you make
guy,
some money.
and I found a bunch of neat stuff in it, including this gold ring, a bunch of silver coins, this diamond, and a bunch of tiny gold nuggets I put in this container. And now I'm taking it back to the pawn shop guy to see if it's all actually worth what I paid.
You already went through that dirt? I had actually made a list of what all was in there.
We have this.
That's a 1 ounce of silver. That's worth about $32.
We got this bullet chain.
We sell those for $1.
We got this other silver coin.
That's a peace dollar. Those are worth about $29.
And I started adding up what everything was worth, and then I pulled out the ring.
That's actually a gold ring right there.
And it was actually worth.
In melt value, $100.
And I got out the diamond I found.
A little diamond we found.
Quarter carat diamond.
How much is that worth?
We normally buy those for about 50 to 100, but retail it's probably 300 or 400. You could figure it at 50 bucks.
And then all my gold nuggets.
5 pieces, so 1.4 gram. That's about 150 bucks probably in gold.
And then I had this last little bit of gold,
$30 worth of gold.
bringing the total to.
Dang, that's $469.
How much did you give me?
I only gave you $400.
Well, you made a little money this time. That's why I told you 500.
Shoot, now I feel bad.
You've lost enough on the last deals. You're probably okay.
So in a previous video, I took all this copper and melted it into this singular round bar that I tried to sell at the pawn shop.
I'd probably give you 10 bucks for
And
it.
it was worth $10, but today I've got this furnace to create an even bigger copper bar. It heated it up, and then I poured it into this mold with water, which apparently you're really not supposed to do, but it made it all shiny and perfect like this. And there was still some leftover copper in the crucible that didn't melt all the way, so we heated it up and then poured it back into the mold, and it turned out great. And it boiled like this, but then stopped. Once it cooled off, we had 3 shiny copper bars to sell at the pawn shop.
What's going on? got?
I've got some high quality copper that I mined out of the ground and then I melted into these bars.
You mined it out of the ground? Where do you mine copper at?
The copper mines. I figure they're worth a pretty penny.
Think so? Copper's not worth very much. You got 0.317 of a pound here. Copper's only worth about $3.50 a pound, so you've got about $1.20 worth of copper here. I could have sold you a bunch of copper coins.
Then he told me he'd sell me these copper coins.
Maybe I could buy these and make them into a bar.
You can do whatever you want with them after you buy them.
How much for these?
I do 40 bucks on them.
I'll buy them. That's all I got.
Alrighty,
So
there
I
you
bought
go,
the
sir.
coins and we're gonna make them into a bar. In my last video, I bought $1,000 worth of dirt bags to see how big of a gold bar we can create from the gold we find. And so far, in just 2 of the bags, we've found 1.8 grams worth of gold, or about $116. And now with 5 more bags to go, that puts me on track to make back almost half my money. And starting with 1 more bag, we just sent it through this sifter machine and started picking out all the big chunks and putting them in this container. And we got quite a lot of big chunks that was really starting to add up in the container, while all the finer pieces ran through the entire machine and looked like this. And we just scooped all those up one by one and put them in this jar, and the first container weighed in at 0.91 grams, but we still had 2 more bags to filter through the entire machine. And this time I was just putting all the gold we found from both bags in one container to see how much it would weigh. We kept on finding chunk after chunk, and then this was the last of the first bag. We poured the last bag on this little thing and then poured all the dirt through, and we found a bunch more big chunks like this, and this other really big one. And after pushing the last bit of dirt through, we found this other chunk that was really round and pretty, and this other one, bringing the weight of both bags to 1.93 grams, and the total value of all the gold we have to $300. So after taking the gold I found in dirt to this jeweler, he melted it down and it was worth about
$73.68.
And you guys told me to keep it and find even more gold and dirt to add to it. So in my last video, I found 0.06 grams in a small bag, and then in a bigger bag, I found even bigger chunks that amounted to a whole gram of gold, worth about $56. And this time, I'm going to be attempting to melt it all down myself with this torch. I remember the jeweler just poured it all in a crucible like this and poured this stuff on it, and that's what I did. And then I lit up the torch and started putting the heat on it. And I put the heat on it for quite a while and threw some more stuff on there. And eventually the gold got red hot like this, but it wasn't really melting. And then I tried to move it and found out I got it all stuck inside the crucible. So then I had the idea to buy more gold from the pawn shop to take to the jeweler.
Hey, I was just wondering if you still had those gold nuggets.
Oh, in the little jar? You need these?
I was just wanting to buy something to add to my my little nugget, remember? I wanted to buy some more gold to add to it.
I'd say that, I guess.
He weighed it for me at
0.9 grams. I'd do 80 on it. You got a $100 bill? Is that
Yep.
real?
Yeah, I'm pretty...
There you go, sir.
comment if you want me to take it back to the jeweler to get it melted down.
This right here is an ice hammer, and I've seen people who make these hammers stronger by freezing them with paper towels like this, and so I wanted to test and see for myself if that really works. So I got out this tray and made 3 giant ice cubes with paper towels and 3 without. Then we froze the cubes overnight, and here's what the ones with paper towel looked like, and here's the ones that were just ice. Now it was time to see if the paper towel ice cubes were actually stronger. The regular ice broke like this, and the paper towel ice cube actually held up really well. Here's regular ice again, and then the paper towel ice, which took way more force to break. So clearly the paper towel breaks were way stronger than the ice. And this is how the paper towel and the ice break both shattered on the ground. And now I want to create my own ice hammer to see how strong I can make it. So I just made this resin mold of my hammer like this, poured the resin around the hammer, then let it sit overnight, and we had this mold that I filled with water and paper towel like this. And then after I froze it, it started melting and kind of fell apart like this. And it didn't really make a very good hammer anymore, so then I just did some strength tests comparing this regular ice hammer to this paper towel ice hammer, and the paper towel hammer was clearly stronger. So let me know what else I should try. So the other day I bought this mystery money tree from the pawn shop guy that he said contained real gold nuggets in the soil.
You might find thousands of dollars.
So I paid him $40,
Hope you get rid of
and then I left hoping I would find way more than my money's worth in gold. I started by making sure I got all the dirt out, and then I poured it all in this sifter and began sifting all the big chunks out. And when I began searching, I immediately found this gold nugget. I then put it in my little container and kept on searching until I found an even bigger gold nugget. I picked it up with the tweezers, and this is what it looked like on my finger. I added it to the container and kept on finding even more gold nuggets. We found this one, this other little one, then this extremely little one that was just sitting by the water bottle. Then my brother found this piece of gold over here. And so far, this was our collection. I then found our biggest nugget yet, along with a few more little nuggets. And now it was time to take it all to the pawn shop to see what it was worth.
What's up, Dylan?
Hey, I went through the money tree, and I think I found all the gold.
Did you?
This is what I found. I wanted to see how much it's worth.
Huh.
He weighed the gold in at...
0.4 grams, $38.80 worth of gold in it.
So how much would you pay for the gold?
I'd give you 35.
Maybe I'll just hold on to it and it'll go up in value and then it'll be worth more than I paid.
Could be. Have a good day.
You too.
So after trying to sell this bag of dirt to the pawn shop guy, he turned me down and instead offered to sell me his own $500 mystery bag of dirt.
I'll let my audience decide.
And you guys told me to go back and buy it, so I have the money and we're gonna buy it.
So I let my audience decide and they told me I should buy it.
Oh, the dirt bag?
Yeah. What do you think about going 400 on it?
I can do that.
And we had a deal.
Hopefully you make some money.
Now it was time to see if I'd make my money back. I poured it out and immediately found this silver thing and this gold looking thing, as well as this gold looking ring that I didn't know how much was worth, and this little thing with gold nuggets inside. Then I found this silver dollar thing and a bunch of other silver coins. And I already had a decent looking pile of stuff. Then I found this random gold nugget that weighed almost a gram by itself. Then next we found this really tiny piece of gold and set it by the other piece. And then found this diamond that has to be worth like $100. And after searching through the dirt to make sure we didn't miss anything, we just kept on finding a few more gold nuggets, making the total weight of the gold 1.38 grams. This is what the gold looks like, and here's all the stuff. I put it in a bag. So let me know if I should go back and see what it's all worth. So I previously purchased a bunch of scrap silver from the pawn shop guy and then melted it down myself into this bar that I got out of the crucible by throwing it on the ground. And when I took it back to the pawn shop, he said it was worth
$40 for it. There you go, sir.
so I sold it. But now you guys want me to try to make a bar out of straight copper. I had to cut the copper down even smaller to fit it in the crucible, and then we started melting it with this flame. It took a minute, but once it heated up, you can literally see the copper turn red hot and then turn into straight liquid metal. I kept heating it, threw some borax on it like this, and once the copper was pretty much just a puddle of copper, we picked it up very gently and poured it in the mold. It completely filled the mold like this and then began to harden and cool off, but we poured a little bit of water on it and it was still so hot it boiled the water like this and made it spew steam everywhere. And once it was cool enough and we got it out of the mold, I held it in my hand and then we sanded it down a little bit more to make it even shinier like this. And here it is with all the rest of the copper we didn't get to melt, and let me know if I should take it back to the pawn shop to see what this is worth. Today I'm turning this giant gummy bear into a frozen slushy gummy in the -11-degree temperature, along with this giant gummy worm and these little gummy bears and gummy worms as well. The first step is completely soaking them in Sprite for 24 hours. After 24 hours they both looked like this. They had completely soaked in the Sprite and looked kind of weird. Then I had to drain all the Sprite to get them ready to be frozen outside. I then did the giant gummy worm, and some of the gummy worms got way bigger in the Sprite. We then took all the gummies outside like this and set them on the hot tub to freeze overnight. I checked on them after a few hours and they looked like this, so I just let them sit the rest of the night, and the next day they looked like this. So now it was time to test if they were slushy or not.
The gummy worm.
Yeah, the gummy worm was kind of hard to bite into.
Here's a baby one. See if it works. That worked.
And now it was time to take a bite out of the giant gummy bear.
Slushy bear.
And it was kind of slushy-like, but also really hard to bite into. And here was the giant gummy worm, which was kind of the same. Comment what else I should try. So I've done a ton of videos in the past filling my storm cellar up with a bunch of random things. And I just saw Netflix came out with a documentary about my town's EF5 tornado in 2011. And I thought now would be a good time to clear out the storm cellar and prepare for storm season. And the first step was making space. I took out this mirror and this chair, and then all these Lego bricks from the previous video I made had to go as well, so I knocked them all down like this. And then I had to pick them up one by one, stack them, and take them out of the storm cellar. I stacked this one big tower like this, but sadly it fell down like this. And once we got all the bricks out, it was time to use the torch and get rid of all the spiders and bugs that have made their home there the last year. And the next step was taking this broom and sweeping up all the leaves and debris that was in the storm cellar to make it nice and clean. And now it looked like this, but it was still missing something, so I went to Walmart and got this lawn chair and this blanket to make the storm cellar a bit cozier. I laid down the blanket, put the lawn chair in the corner, and it was much better.
Ready for the storm.
So let me know what else we should do with the storm shelter. So I have this gold nugget that's worth about
$224.43.
And to make my nugget even bigger, I spent $1,000 on these dirt bags to find even more gold to add to it. And here's all the gold we found in total. And today I'm having a jeweler melt it all into one gold bar so I can take it to the pawn shop and see if it's worth more than what I've spent. He had all my gold in the crucible and just put this really hot torch on it that looked really beautiful, and it slowly began to melt into one little liquid ball. And once it got hot enough, he was able to move it and touch it with his little metal stick. And after a lot more heat, my gold got completely red hot, and looked like just one hot red coin. And once it was ready, the jeweler just grabbed it and stuck it in the water like this, and it was ready. I had my gold. And now it felt really heavy and looked so nice and shiny, and it weighed 10 grams. And the only thing left to do was to see what it was worth.
You know how I had all those gold nuggets from the bags of dirt I was buying?
Yep.
Well, I spent quite a bit more money on these bags of dirt to find a bunch more gold to add to my nugget. And we melted it all into one piece. Are you ready for this?
Oh, wow. Did you melt that yourself?
No, I didn't.
I was gonna say, it's pretty smooth around the edges for you to be melted. You want to see what it's worth?
He first weighed it,
10.6 grams.
and then we found out what carat it was.
20 carats.
That's worth a pretty penny, isn't it?
Yeah, $725.
No way. How much would you pay for it?
I'd give you $700 for it. How much you got invested in it?
Maybe about $1,400, $1,500.
That's not a real good investment. I would have sold you $1,400 worth
And he
of gold.
told me I could wait and see if I wanted to sell it, so let me know what I should do. So in my last video, I smelted a tiny piece of gold from nuggets I found in bags of dirt, and the pawn shop guy said it was worth
$224.43.
And you guys commented wanting me to make the gold even bigger, so today I bought $1,000 worth of the same dirt bags to see how big of a gold bar we can create from the gold we find. And my hope is to return at least half my money back in gold. So I got started with the first bag of dirt using the sifting method to try to get out the bigger chunks of gold first. And right away I was met with success finding this chunk, and then this chunk, and this one that looked like a perfect ball, and this really flat disc looking one, but we kept on finding chunks and putting them in this little container until we searched completely through the pile and found the last few big chunks remaining, which so far weighed 0.71 grams or about $41 worth of gold. And then to find all the finer pieces of gold, we started pouring it all on this little machine that we ran water through. And once we got done with the leftover sand from the first bag, I got out a new bag and put this whole bag completely through this thing and found these massive chunks of gold in it. And this new method was actually proving to be much more efficient than me sifting and just looking for the pieces by hand. And to find the even smaller pieces, we then took apart the entire contraption and ran water through it like this and found all these other tiny pieces of gold that we added to the container. And with 5 bags left to go, in total we found $116 worth of gold.
So in my last video, we prepped the storm cellar for tornado season by getting rid of all the stuff that I had put in there from all my previous videos, cleaning it completely out until it looked like this, and then added some things to make it more comfortable for storm season. But you guys told me it still needed more, so I took everything out, and you guys wanted me to add like a bed, so I put this air mattress in there. I pushed it down in the cellar and then shoved it in this corner like this. And then I added some more decoration, this rug right here, and this painting that I hung on the wall. So artsy. And then you guys also told me I needed a pet fish, so I got this robot fish and put it in this fish bowl. And then I took it down in the storm cellar and set it right here. And now here's a little compilation / tour of what the cellar looks like now. Beautiful painting. This is the lot. And so now the storm cellar was even more decked out and ready to survive any storm.
So after having this jeweler melt down the gold I found in dirt bags, the pawn shop guy said it was worth
$224.43.
But that wasn't enough, so I bought $1,000 more worth of dirt bags, and so far we've opened 5 bags and found about $300 worth of gold. And now with just 2 bags left, I tried the lucky bag first, which is supposed to contain about 50% more gold, and I think it was accurate because after a while of searching, we found this chunk that was pretty big, and then we found another chunk that was also pretty big, put it in the container, and then we found the biggest chunk we'd seen. I dropped it in the container as well, and this other little chunk, a bunch more little chunks, and after sifting through the entire lucky bag, it was finished, and the amount of gold we found weighed approximately 1.32 grams, making it actually the bag with the most gold. And now we were finally on to the very last bag out of the 7 bags we bought. And this bag started off slow, just finding little pieces like this, and then I found this massive chunk that I weighed all by itself at 0.45 grams, which might be the biggest we've seen, and then added it to the container, and the total weight of this bag was 0.96, bringing our total estimate to over $600 of gold. Now it's just time to melt it and sell it at the pawn shop. So in my previous videos, I bought a jar of oil from this oil man, and I found out it wasn't worth anywhere near what I paid.
I think you paid way too much for it. I'd give you probably 50 cents for it.
But today I'm going back to buy a small piece of a well and sell it back to the pawn shop.
Hey, how's it going?
What are you doing back here, old boy?
I'm actually interested in getting in the oil business with you.
You know, I could use a partner whenever I get to thinking about it. Did you bring your checkbook with you?
Yeah, I got some money.
Well, you just come with me, boy. Well, you see this here oil well? I'm gonna let you end up buying a little percentage in this well. It's called a royalty interest.
And a small percent would only cost
$250.
So I looked it over and said,
Looks like a good investment to me.
All we need to do here is sign this oil royalty interest agreement.
Should I have a lawyer look at this?
It's all just real simple. I wouldn't worry about it.
so I signed, and I was now a small owner in the oil business. Time to sell it at the pawn shop. So I bought oil royalty interest. Basically, I have a small ownership stake in this oil well that makes a lot of money. I paid $250 and I got a small percent.
What does it say your percent?
My percentage.
Oh, 0.00001?
Yeah.
That's like nothing. What's it make?
It makes a few thousand a month or something.
A couple thousand a month?
Yeah. And he told me I would only make
2 cents a month. And you gave how much?
250.
It'd take you about 10.5 years to get your money back.
Oh.
Doesn't sound like a very good investment.
Well, what would you pay for this?
I'd give you $2.50.
I'll just keep it then. So one day I wanted to test dropping one of these giant, insanely strong ostrich eggs into a pool of oobleck. The substance that's a solid when you hit it, but a liquid when you move slowly through it. So we're gonna see how high we have to go for the egg to break. The first drop is a waist-high drop. Surely this won't break. And the waist-high drop did literally nothing to the ostrich egg. Time to go higher. See if the egg survives. And it was again unharmed. The egg is intact. Let's see if the ostrich egg survives this. 3, 2, 1. It hit a little bit harder. Let's check it out. And again, not a scratch on it. We're up a lot higher. My guess is it breaks now. 3, 2, 1. There is no cracks whatsoever. This is as high as I can go. So I'm just gonna hold it like this and hopefully we hit the oobleck. And this was the hardest hit by far, but still no damage. Since that failed, I'm just gonna throw it really hard down at it. 3, 2, 1. And now, since we couldn't go higher, I had a different plan. Now I'm just gonna attempt to throw it really high and hope it lands on the oobleck. Oh God. Well, I missed. So in my last video, I tried to make one of these ice hammers, and I tested the theory that if you put paper towels in water and freeze it like this, it makes way stronger ice blocks. And it actually turned out to be true. So you guys told me to make even bigger ice blocks to really compare the paper towel bricks versus the regular ice bricks. So here was the first test, right in half. And then here was the paper towel brick. It only put a dent in it. Yeah, it's way stronger. Here's me hammering some more. Now the paper towel brick. And then the paper towel brick that took way more force to break and only leaves dents. Now I need a bigger hammer. Here's me trying with a sledgehammer. It makes it to where it doesn't fully explode and it just stays in a chunk like this. Drop test, regular ice versus paper towel ice. Here's the regular ice. Here's the paper towel ice. It's completely intact, so I'm gonna throw it harder. And after the paper towel ice completely survived the fall, I decided to throw it higher like this. This thing does not break to fall damage. And then I threw it even harder on the ground. And it finally broke. Let me know what else I should try. So the other day I bought these genuine police handcuffs from the pawn shop guy, and I managed to escape him using this strategy. But today I want to see just how much force these things can withstand. First I just hit it with this hammer. The hammer did nothing. So then I tried throwing this brick on it, but the handcuffs were still perfectly okay. So I got out a much bigger hammer and started hitting it. I just broke the brick, and the handcuffs are literally fine. Now I'm gonna drop this 20-pound weight. Yeah. And that didn't do anything either. So then I got out a literal anvil and dropped it on the handcuffs, and it actually bent. So we actually bent the police handcuffs. That's the only thing that's done anything. We're gonna aim for right there. Then we tried again with the anvil, aiming for the center of the handcuffs like this. But it still wasn't enough force, so I got out this mini hydraulic press and started cranking on the side of the handcuffs, and that wasn't enough either. So we still had to figure out another way. So I put them in between these two bricks and tried to hit the perfect center like this. I did it several times at different angles, but still nothing. I got them pretty broken up, but they're not gonna break. Okay, so I guess if you get arrested, don't plan on escaping. So after selling the pawn shop guy all the gold I found in these dirt bags for $200, I wanted to see how much he would pay for the dirt bag itself, as well as these gold bricks that can contain real gold and this money soap that has a mystery amount of money inside. So it was time to see what he would pay. So inside of this bar contains up to 5, 10, 20, 50, or even $100 bill. I'll sell it to you for 20.
Well, how do you know how much is in there?
It's a mystery.
So if I give you 2 and then there's not 2 in there, will you give me my money back?
Yeah, I mean.
So how about 5?
Okay, yeah. So he bought it for $5 and then he opened it up to see how much money he would find.
I broke even.
So now I got these gold bricks. There's a 1 in 24 chance of it containing real gold. So I got 2 of them here and I'll sell them both to you for $10.
Well, tell you what, how about I just buy one of them for $3?
And he just bought one of them for $3 and then he took it to this vise to bust it open to see what was inside. And it was just a rock.
Got screwed on that deal.
You know how I kept bringing you the gold I found in dirt bags? I thought instead of bringing you all the gold I found, I'd just sell you one of the dirt bags. This is a $50 bag of dirt.
You're saying I'm gonna find $50 worth of gold in that?
There's probably at least $20.
How much you want for it?
I was thinking 40. I
Don't
mean,
sound like a good return.
so you don't want it?
Probably not. I tell you what though, sell you this bag, and I guarantee you, it'll have some pretty nice stuff in there.
How much is it?
I would do 500.
And I just told him this. I'll let my audience decide. So like and comment if you want me to come back and buy the mystery bag. So one day I took my Tesla to a not very busy parking lot to test the Tesla Smart Summon feature. I wanted to make sure it actually worked perfect, so I just hit come to me and the Tesla started moving like this. This is what it looked like inside. It literally just started pulling out of the parking spot and making its way to me. I was pretty nervous for it, but it was doing just fine and driving better than I would. And I had my brother sit in the back and film these shots of it just spinning the wheel with nobody in it, and it looks like something out of some crazy movie. And here's me absolutely shocked that it was working with no one in it.
Oh my god.
And overall, the Tesla was driving really safe, making perfect stops and putting on the blinker, and here it is coming right to pick me up. So we demonstrated that it works without any traffic, but we had to take things up a notch and actually test it with a person in the road. So I had my brother stand there while I summoned it to come to me, and it slowed down and then completely stopped and made its way around my brother. So then we had to test him just walking out in the middle of the road like this, like he was on his phone. And when he did, the car stopped way before he even got to the road and went on its merry way. Like if you want me to try in a really busy parking lot. So I made this $700 gold nugget from all the gold I found and $1,000 worth of these dirt bags. And now today I'm testing 3 different brands of these dirt bags to see which one gives me the most gold for my money. I started with the cheapest bag of dirt that was $26 for 2 pounds of dirt. I first sifted the entire bag to separate the smooth dirt from the big chunks like this. And pretty soon we found our first chunk of gold right here. I picked it up and continued searching until we found another chunk like this. I put it in the jar and kept on searching, found another one that was massive, and then when I was about to pour it all out, we found this one right here, bringing the total weight to 0.14 grams or $9 worth of gold. And now the next bag is this very small bag I bought for $55. And immediately I found this very tiny chunk I put in the container, and then these really dirty looking chunks right here. And we only ended up finding these 2 little more chunks, bringing the total weight to only 0.04 grams or $2.62 worth of gold. Pretty terrible for the money. And this bag was $63, but also had the most amount of dirt. I sifted it and there was a ton of chunks to look through. My first piece was a pretty good looking nugget that I put in the container, and then we found this other one that also was pretty decent size. And then we took all the rest of the dirt and ran it through this water machine to see if we could get any other little nuggets, and we actually got this many. And after adding one by one, the total weight of the gold was 0.16 grams or $10.50. Like if I should add it to my gold bar. So one day I wanted to see how much salt it takes to float perfectly in an inflatable pool. The internet said you need about a 30% salt concentration, so I filled this pool completely up with water, and I have about 500 pounds of salt ready to pour in. So starting with just one bag, I poured it all the way in, mixed it all up until the salt had dissolved, and then I tried to float, but it did nothing. So we got out 3 more 40-pound bags, cut them open, and dumped them all the way into the pool. And then I mixed it all up, and just like that, there was 160 pounds of salt completely dissolved in the water. And then we took a break from adding salt to see if we could float better, and I could literally float perfectly already.
I'm already floating. It smells so salty.
Then we just started adding the rest of the salt like this because I wanted to see how much crazier and easier to float in it would be after we added all the salt. And after mixing that all in, we had hundreds of pounds of salt in the pool, and I could float with ease.
Oh my gosh. I don't even have to do anything. I tried.
I'd never been able to float in water so easily in my life. No matter what I did, I just couldn't sink. And here's me spinning around and floating from every angle. I just really couldn't sink. So I guess you don't even need 30% salt concentration to float. Let me know what else I should try.
So a while back, I pranked my parents by dyeing their pool completely red, and they weren't very happy about it. But now their pool looks like this. It's completely green and totally unswimmable. So to make up for what I did all those years ago, I'm going to be cleaning up their pool, draining it, and cleaning off the sides to make it swimmable. Well, now we wait. So we started draining the pool, and while it drained, I tried to scoop out any grime left, but I didn't really get that much. But as it drained, you could see all the grime on the sides of the pool and how dirty it was. And once it was all the way drained, you could see just how gross the bottom was. There was so much green algae and stuff. To even get the sides clean, I had to get this power washer out and spray it on the highest setting. I got done power washing this small section, and just look at it compared to the other side. It's so gross. And we just kept power washing all the grime off the sides and then pushing the water towards this drain hose that sucked up all the dirty water and put it out in the yard like this. And after power washing the pool all day, we eventually worked our way down and got every last piece of grime off the pool. This was the last piece of grime left on the wall that I blasted off, and then here was the bottom. We had to get that cleaned up, and then we refilled it, and the pool was ready to swim.
What would happen if you dropped a real-life anvil on top of your foot? And since I don't want to find out the hard way, I have this ballistic foot here with real bones designed to simulate what would happen to a real foot. But first, to demonstrate just how powerful the anvil is, we're going to use it to try to break open this safe. We dropped it a couple times like this, and then I just threw it on top of it like this.
Caved the door
And we got it open.
That worked.
Now let's see what happens to the ballistic foot. This thing's got real bones and should simulate what would happen to a real foot. All right, footy.
So I just sent the anvil onto the foot like this and went right into the toes.
We just clipped the big toe.
Then I tried again, aiming for the middle of the foot, but just hit the toes again, which looked pretty messed up. Then I just threw the anvil like that, which looked nuts in slow-mo, and it made the toes start completely separating. And then I just proceeded to throw it on it multiple times like this to see how much damage it could do. Here's the slow-mo shots. And the foot was already pretty messed up, but with one more final blow like this to the center of the foot was disintegrated. So a while back, I made a video where I went out to the oil field and bought a jar of oil from this oil man. And it turned out it wasn't worth what I paid.
I think you paid way too much for it. I'd give you probably 50 cents for it.
Then in my next video, I went out to confront him about it, and he made me a deal where I did a whole bunch of work for him, including digging for oil. And this brings me to today, when I was just scrolling through TikTok and I saw this video of this guy who found oil in this field and boiled it and made it this tar. And I wanted to see if this was really even possible. So I went back out to the oil field and showed him this video to see if it was possible.
We can absolutely use my oil to make something like that, but I'm gonna make you one heck of a deal.
And he told me he'd let me buy some more of his oil, so I filled up this jug and then we made a deal.
That smells like money, all that oil. Let's see what you got there. With today's market price, that's $50 worth of oil. I'll let you have it for $40.
Okay. So I paid him $40 and then I took the oil back to run the experiment. We poured it all in this camping pot and then lit a fire underneath it, and it kind of sparked up like this, but after a while it got real hot, so we cooled it down and it's just smoked like this. And then I went to see if it turned into tar, but it was straight liquid. So for the last several years, when the temperature has gotten cold enough, I've been freezing these giant water balloons. And last year these balloons ended up freezing rock solid and turned into these giant ice bowls, in which one of them I broke, and then we took the other one and made this ice sled. And this is the coldest it's been all year at -1, so we got 2 more balloons, and one of them we're going to fill up with sawdust, because you guys told me that if I fill one of these balloons with sawdust and then fill it up with water and freeze it, that it'll freeze all the way through instead of making an ice ball. So we started with that one, filled it all the way up with water, and then we had these other 2 red balloons, filled one all the way up like this, and then I just took this other one and filled it up a little bit to see what a small one would freeze like, and the next day they were completely frozen solid. So starting with the small one, I cut it open and it immediately started leaking water like this, and then it broke. Then I broke it some more and then moved on to the big red one that immediately bursted open like this and made a little heart shape. And we broke all of that as well. And now it was time for the sawdust balloon. I cut it open and it immediately started leaking out like this and sawdust went everywhere. And this is how thick that piece was, so I just broke it. So a while back, I made a video where I went out to the oil field and bought a jar of oil from this oil man, just to find out it wasn't worth near what I paid for it.
I think you paid way too much for it. I'd give you probably 50 cents for it.
So I went back out there to get my money back, and he ended up hiring me to do a bunch of work for him. Until eventually, after a long day's work, I had earned all my money back.
Here's all your money back.
And today I'm going back out there because he has a new deal for me.
What's the deal for you?
Where I get to find my own oil.
Here you go. Go right out there and dig for oil right over there.
He sent me out to dig for a spot to drill oil. So I just walked around with my shovel digging and trying to look for oil. Hey, I don't see any oil over here.
Just dig deeper.
I kept looking around and was beginning to think I wouldn't find oil until I actually hit some. Hey, I think I hit oil. It was just coming out of the ground.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you what, that is oil. You drilled the shallowest oil well on planet Earth.
I took a good look at it and I could even see my reflection. And then we set up this rig to test it that when I turn this valve, it should shoot up oil all over. If I turn this valve, we should get high quality oil. But when I turned it, there was no oil. It's water. And I was pretty upset about it.
Life is nothing but a risk, son. Welcome to the oil business.